Hi, it's Monday, April 25th. It's a busy, I'm sure everybody had a busy weekend. The weather's starting to get nice. Let's see. Thanks everybody for coming. It's a good time to take care of yourself Monday morning. Have a good day the rest of the day.
Thanks, Kim. You look cute. I love your
Thanks.
hair.
Yeah, I put stuff in it so that it looked good. How was everybody's weekend?
Interesting.
Had an interesting weekend?
Yeah.
So, real quick. So for those that are going to be watching the recording later, just so you know, when we share, it's good to give us a heads up of, I'd love it. I want you guys to just listen, or I'd like you to just listen. And us as listeners, we're not thinking of how we can, how we can solve your problem. We can just listen and relax. And if you're open to feedback, if you can try to remember to say that before or after, then it makes it easy, keeps the communication lines open. So that's kind of the group norms for this. We use all the holistic coping skills that we can muster. And the goal of this group is to use our essential oils and our healthy communication to heal from trauma and our addiction to controlling other people and low self-esteem. So I had something I wanted to share about that this weekend. I had 2 booths that I was running back and forth across town doing. And it was fine. I noticed that I was using my communication skills and I was watching people appreciate it. Like, oh, like it's been a long time since somebody asked me, like, if right before I offer help, I say, would you like to hear my opinion or, a suggestion? And you always see people's face. They're like shocked that like, you're not just going to like lay it on them. But I did have one lady that, she didn't want my suggestion. She asked for my suggestion, but she didn't want my suggestion. And she was doing this like oppositional devil's advocate kind of thing where like she really just didn't want it, even though she was asking. And I was like, I felt myself getting mad. Like, how dare you? You don't want my help. Like hold on, Deirdre. I just felt like, and I noticed, wow, okay, that's my ego right there, because I need to completely stay detached from other people's choices. I have zero control over other people's choices. All I can do is show up and offer the help I can and be compassionate, But I did notice myself getting like kind of fired up because she really just wasn't listening. And I was like, whoa, Kim, whoa. So I'm really glad that I've had this time of learning, like, what does that look like when your ego pops up, because we know better. We know better than other people. Like, what do I know? I mean, I do know a lot, but like it's other people's choices. So I have to completely detach from that. So that's another surrendering moment. So today I woke up and I used neroli. That's one of my favorites. I notice when I'm feeling controlling, or if I'm feeling like my life is out of control, I'm looking for ways to control other people. And how dare they not take my advice? So that's what my neroli is helping me with. So that was part of what I wanted to share, but sorry, Deirdre, I go ahead and share. Do you have a thought on that?
I had a question. So when you say that she wanted your opinion, she wanted it, but she was rejecting your suggestions. Is that what was going on?
So what my friend that was with me, Lisa, because I kind of, when the lady left the table, she noticed me kind of like being triggered a little bit. She goes, you know, Kim, people have been really been taken for a ride this last couple of years. They don't trust what they're told because it's all lies. Like they're being fed lies through the media. They're being fed, people are trying to get them to do things that they don't want to do. And that really helped me like digest, like, wow, okay. So I hadn't even considered that the trust factor with people, because I generally trust people pretty easily. And I just forgot that people have trust issues. But yeah, she was like, I'm in pain. I need something for my ankle. She had just broken, and we were talking to her about bone broths and using Siberian fir to help knit the bone, and you know, just drinking comfrey tea, and you know, all the things that I know that are helping to rebuild the bone, taking Epsom salt baths, doing compresses for the ankle. And she just was firing them all down, but she hadn't tried them. But you know, so even now I'm catching myself. I'm like, these are all great suggestions. She should have listened to me. It's funny. Yeah, but I'm open.
I love your authenticity, Kim.
What'd you say?
I love your authenticity, that you're willing to step back and say, oh, okay, I guess I don't know everything.
Yeah. Well, I actually, I didn't catch it. My friend had to catch me. She was like, Kim. And I'm like, yeah, I totally did that.
Do you feel like those kind of instances that they come into our path when we're trying to be more, when we're trying to learn something, that these things pop up, so it gives us a chance to practice? That's what I've come across lately with myself. And like, I set a goal for something, or I'll try to be more mindful of doing something, and then these things get put in my path so that I get a chance to practice them. And I used to get upset about them because I used to think, wow, I was so good at doing that. But now I welcome them and I say, thank you for helping me address this piece in me that I didn't know was there. Do you feel like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and right now when people are telling me, you know, like this weekend was hard, but was it a progress hard? Like I don't have to redo this. Or is it a hard and I didn't learn anything and it's going to happen again?
Yeah.
You know, like how do we take our experiences, like you said, and recognize what they are? Because I think that's what it is. I think that's what it's all about. Like how can I take this experience and what lesson did I learn? And can I remember the next time, you know, and not feel ashamed of it. Someone's at my door. Hold on a second.
Okay.
But if someone would like to share, I'll be right back. I'm just going to mute myself.
So I feel like sometimes these instances, they are tempering you, and God will temper you through what you do. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's right. Anybody else want to share something?
Something to share? I just wanted to say that I had this weird dream last night that it's like I woke up in a room, and when I woke up, it was like I was back in time, but I knew I was back in time. So it was like I was myself now, like at age 38, but I was like, I woke up and I was 22, but I knew like my mind was still 38. And I got a phone call from someone that said, oh, I'm not going to come to dinner, but it was like a past relationship. And I said, it was like a very toxic relationship. And I said, oh, well, that's fine. But I don't like, like I want to break off this relationship basically. And it was like so like satisfying to say that, like to know, like, you know, it's like the hindsight thing. Like I wish I could go back in time and change it. But then when I woke up, I was like, oh, I feel really good right now that I like was able to do that, to say that to that person, like I'm done with this relationship, and like stood up for myself, because back then I didn't stand up for myself. But anyways, when I woke up, I was like, what am I, like, I need to think about that now, like the decisions that I make now, how am I going to feel about that in 10-20 years? Like, how am I going to feel, like what would I want to change about what is in my life now, that like I might look back, like, you know, you look old, you're older, it's like the hindsight thing. But like some of the things I thought was like making better decisions, like just better habits, because I watched like a little video about if you want to change some things in your life, just start with super small habits. And so I thought, okay, I've like, you know, it was Easter and like you know, I was on vacation and ate whatever I want. So I thought, okay, I'm going to challenge myself to doing my doTERRA greens and the fiber like 3 times a day, like mix it in water. And I always feel really good when I do it. And it says on the back, you know, you could take it multiple times a day. So I thought, I'm going to try to do that. And that's just like a small thing. And so I made myself like a little, like on a journal, and I put like 3 little boxes. And so I'm going to check it off. So that was something that I just thought I would share it with you guys. But it was just really weird with the dream, and then waking up feeling really good about that. And like, how could I apply it to my life now? You know, so, but that's it. That's what I want to share.
Wow. Are you open to feedback, Crystal?
I'm open to feedback. Yeah.
Well, I don't have feedback, except I just want to say, wow, thank you for sharing that. I love how you could say, how am I going to feel about what I'm doing now? And am I going to regret it later in my dreams? That it's like you had a do-over in your dream.
Yeah. I was like, it was so neat to just, it was kind of like a closure thing. Yeah. It was interesting.
Wow. I love that you could apply it to yourself now. So that makes me, oh, I like it. I want to do it. Thank you.
I like when I walk away and good stuff happens. Sorry, my dog is barking. The guy is here to pick up the bouncy house. So my dog is like, who is this guy? So I wanted you guys to tell me if you're noticing, like, what is your coping skill thing? Like last week we talked about some coping skills, and what did you apply this week? Using the oils or breathing techniques or bath therapy, taking a walk, if you guys want to share a little bit about that. Well, I'll share, I guess. So I mentioned that I did those 2 booths, and you know, that was one of my really big triggers in the past, that when I would be around a lot of people and a lot of stimulus, I wouldn't catch it until later that I was like way overstimulated. And I wouldn't know how to self-regulate. I wouldn't know how to reground myself and gather the pieces of me again. Kind of like, remember the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? How the little boy goes, Mike TV, how they put him in the little microwave thing, and then he's all the pieces of him are up in the air before he has to become the tiny version. That's how I feel when I'm around too many people for too long. I don't feel like I'm put back together. So what I did yesterday, because we did the 2 booths and then I had to set up for my daughter's birthday party. Thank God Crystal, my sister, was there. And I went to bed and I just like watched TV. I like this, I mean, I know that's not like the most healthy thing, but I just needed to completely like zone out and like recollect myself. I took a shower too. And when I got out, I was using what oil did I always use? Tea tree. And tea tree is to help disconnect from unhealthy relationships. And I was just noticing another controlling version of myself. My neighbor was over, and she hasn't been introduced to a different communication style yet. I think she might be open to it if I talk to her about it. But as far as, like when you share, are you looking for support? Are you looking for someone to listen? And I did catch myself wanting to give solutions like right away without asking, like, would you like some solutions? And she just wants, the way that she relates is to complain with people. Like that's how, like, oh, like busy moms should complain to other moms because they'll understand. And I know she doesn't know, that like that's like kind of a soul sucking conversation for some people. For me, it's very soul sucking. I don't want to hear about that really. But so I was trying to have compassion for her. She just hasn't learned that there's another way to relate, with other moms in this way. Because I know that she is looking for healthy relationships. She just hasn't got to that place yet. But yeah, that was difficult for me to sit through listening to. I ended up I'm like, okay, I'm out. I gotta go do dishes, even though I hate dishes, but I'd rather do dishes than listen to you complain any longer. So I was laying in bed and kind of recollecting myself. And I did use Aroma Touch, the blend. I used the Aroma Touch on my head. I wonder how that would apply. I can read it to you guys. My office is currently a mess from all the booth thing.
Kim, do you want feedback on what you just said?
Sure. I will take some feedback.
I just have one comment, and that is, I think going and laying in your bed is a perfectly awesome thing to do when you need to detach and collect yourself. I mean, I think that's even going to sleep. Do you know that resets your, your vagus nerve when you take a nap? So I think that's a really good thing. That's my only comment.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Yeah, I have a comment too. I was actually there when that lady was complaining, and she said several things that offended me, but I didn't take it offensive because I thought, oh, she just doesn't know me, or she doesn't, know how me and Kimmy are holistic, or what we put into like our different, our parenting styles and things like that. And I thought you dealt with it really well, Paige, or Paige, I call Kim sometimes, but she said, Kim said, oh, well, it seems like you don't really want to change anything, but it's good that it's like she was letting her express herself, but she realized, like, she told her, like, it doesn't sound like you really want to change. And I thought, oh, that was really smart, because the lady was kind of just complaining. And then you're just like, well, you don't really want to change anything, like, and so she was like, yeah, I don't really, it's like, so she didn't realize, like, she was putting all this, like, but sometimes people have to go through that process, right? Like they need to say it out loud before they realize, oh, I don't really want to change anything. I don't know. So, but I thought you dealt with it well. So
well, she was saying, oh, I really should get a job or something. But she's like just starting her second trimester, and she has twins and another kid. And like, I was like, you look like you really should just be incubating. Like, what are you worried about?
you're trying to lift her up. No, but
Yeah. Like, chill, lady. You don't need to be a real estate star.
Have diffused some Claricom. A lot of hormones flying around that lady.
I'm sure, yeah. And I mean, she was the full flavor of the laundry detergent. And I was like, really should think about the non-chemical lifestyle. She's like, oh no, we don't care about it natural at all. Me and Chris are like, okay. We took that feedback really well. We didn't push. I was gonna read what Aroma Touch does, and I was wondering, it says most people seek out massage when they are tense or stressed. Through body work and massage, individuals are able to relax tight muscles. Breathing may begin to regulate, slow, and deepen. As the body relaxes, so does the mind. As muscles release tension, the heart can reopen to life. Oh, okay. Circulation is enhanced, as is one's ability to move with life and allow things to flow. This is the gift of aroma touch, the ability to relax, open, and move in harmony once more with the body and with existence. I think why I was drawn to that is because when I want someone to do something and they don't do it, I'm stuck because I have a point of view and they have a point of view, and so life doesn't flow because I'm like, I know better than you, right? Because I'm smart. Yeah.
I live with a house full of those, and we all came together and did that same thing. And I just felt like I was getting attacked, so I just retreated to my kitchen and cooked. I didn't want to talk to anybody for the rest, because I was afraid that anything that I said would antagonize them or just spark another confrontation. So I agreed to disagree in myself and just let it go.
Yeah. Well, it's good. You know, I really like when we figure out what our limitations are. You know, like in the past, I would have run myself ragged. I would have sat next to that lady and I would have said, you know what? You've got to stop. You know what? I'm going to tell you how to fix your whole life.
Oh, Kim, I need you to help me fix my whole life. Actually, I do have something I would love some feedback on, but if somebody else wants to talk, I feel like I'm always talking. But if you guys want to use me as a test subject, I would love some feedback.
Okay, let's tell us.
Okay. I've realized I just signed up again with my therapist for another month because I've realized the next step for me is, okay, this makes me cry, authenticity. So I can be really authentic in safe groups like this, but really I was kind of raised with the perfectionism thing and that it's not safe to share who you really are because you get torn down if you do. So I have tried to hide the real me my whole life. And I hide behind doing awesome things like performance. And then I hide by trying to let my life look perfect. And then when I have the rug pulled out from under me and it isn't perfect, then it's a huge shock to my system. So if anybody has any things where they've worked with authenticity and allowing, it really is all about the fears, like releasing the fears of letting people see the real you and letting the real you come out, because I can be the real me with certain people, but I've noticed even with my own kids, sometimes I have not been really authentic, and yet I value that the most. If somebody's really authentic and they just let themselves go, I love it the most. So I want to be like that. Okay. So oils or whatever, books or whatever, I'm open to whatever you guys would like to share, and I'm going to take notes.
Well, the word that I kept hearing was acceptance. And like when you were like, what would your spirit need is self-acceptance.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Accepted the real you. Because if there's versions of you need to be around certain people, you're worried of their opinion of you.
Yes.
You know, that you represent, there's a role you play for those people that you're worried of their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to change your role or your perception of yourself with those people, you know?
Yes. So thank you. Do you, is there an oil that you think maybe, I mean, I've been coming across this, and I finally sent a Marco Polo to my therapist. I just set it up today and I was like, I want some help. what's happening is I'm detoxing a ton of stuff physically, and I've lost 25 pounds, and I'm doing all this stuff healthy for my body, and things are coming out now, and I'm ready to detox more emotionally.
I mean, I know you, and I know that you can, you and I struggle to stay grounded. It's easy for us to go like, like the performance thing. Performance is up in here in this part of your body.
Yes.
So if you can make sure that you continue to find ways to come back and be grounded. I was going to look up acceptance for you in the Essential Emotions book, but while I was at the booth, it came to me, and like, it obviously came from God. There was this beautiful mesquite tree outside of the window where my booth was at the Apple Valley Inn. And when people would come and I would give them a drop of oil to breathe, I'd say, now I want you to look at that tree outside, and I want you to think about the roots of it. I want you to connect the roots of that tree as you breathe in this oil, and you watch their system just drop.
Wow.
And my yoga friend was there, Lisa, and she's like, make sure you get that long exhale. The long exhale is where you can tone that the vagus nerve. And humming, because it's on the left side. Your vagus nerve comes from your brain and it goes down the left side. It goes down, does it go through your heart first? I'll have to look at the trail, but I know it's a loop. It's a loop that goes all the way up. It comes down from your brain, the left side right here. When you hum and when you exhale long, then you are stimulating that vagus nerve to calm your body down. But if you can think of a plant nearby, like if you're feeling like you're up here and you need to get back inside your body, then look for a plant around you and connect with the roots of it. That's what I've been doing all day long, and that was very helpful. Let me look at
Interesting.
Hey, I have something else to add if you're open.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like our family we were raised with the perfectionist thing too. And we're real successful individuals professionally. And we, hold it like you said, that performance, we work hard. And so we don't want people to see us like we're kind of put ourselves in this like authority position. And so I feel like when you can laugh at yourself, like when you're like, yeah, you can tell your team or your people around you, like, I work hard, but like, I'm a real person too, you know what I mean? And so like how you said, I value that authenticity when people share things like that. And I think other people around you also like, yeah, I work hard, but I'm struggling, like, or being honest, like putting those little honest things and being able to be like, but I'm working on this, and like being, you're like and that's how you are. You're optimistic and you're positive. And like, I feel like I do that too. Like, I had a teacher evaluation and I was so worried about telling him like, oh, I was trying for another job because I want him to see me as this like really professional. I was really honest with him about like, I don't want to apply for this other job, but I was thinking about it. And I realized like my balance was off. Like if I do this other thing, like my whole balance will be thrown off. Like my drive I've got going really good. And I think he really appreciated that honesty. And he kind of told me like, oh, I'm jealous of you right now. Like you're like, you see that balance, and like, good for you that you're willing to keep with those boundaries and stuff. And so I think when you share those off, and it kind of made me feel nervous and scared a little bit, but then I felt like it was appreciated afterwards. Like we shared something, you know what I mean? That, and yeah, so, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
That's
I
helpful.
know with your family dynamic, Jeannie, do you feel like because you need to be strong for them, that you're worried about looking weak because of the trials your family has been through? Is that part of the performance thing of being strong?
I don't think that is it. It's, you know what? I think a big part of things is I've always been natural and holistic, and I raised my kids on all of it, but some of them have rejected that. And so I'm going through this healing journey. I've been sick for about a year, And by going whole food plant-based, I've been healing myself. But I had an episode up at my daughter's who's like the least holistic with me, like she married somebody whose mom is a nurse, and like, so she just has kind of rejected a lot of stuff like that. And rejection is hard for me. Like, that is a hard thing, I have to say. Yeah, rejection is hard. And so it's kind of underlined, I think. I'm wanting to perform and show everybody, look, I healed myself holistically, even after I went to all those doctors who couldn't help me. And then when I have setbacks, which I did while I was at her house, I had some setbacks, and then I get frustrated because I'm like, wait a minute, I've been doing so well. But when you put yourself in that place of trying to perform for others, then you're going to have setbacks.
Yeah. Do you want feedback, Jeannie?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
What would it be like to let go of that? Because I know you feel like, oh, that's a backslide in changing her opinion. Like,
Yeah.
what if we let go of changing her opinion?
Yes. And, talking to you guys, I figure stuff out by talking,
Yeah.
So I just now kind of figured out that that's what it is. So in my head, I understand it, that yes, I don't want to perform for somebody else, and I'm not going to be able to heal trying to get well for somebody else. Right. So in my head, I can do it. So you're right. Like imagining it, what it would be like it's freeing, right? It releases a weight, because it's not like you said earlier. I was taking notes on what you said earlier about stuff too, where you said it's other people's opinions isn't my responsibility. It's not your purview. It's not, your stewardship. So even your own children's opinions is not your responsibility. So then, but moving that from my head into my heart, I guess, working with oils is the thing to do. Or what, if any other suggestions you have?
Yeah, I'll have to think on some book suggestions for you. But I did look up acceptance in the Essential Emotions book, and it says rose, bergamot, ylang ylang, spikenard, jasmine, pink pepper, amavi, beautiful, and northern escape. I've been using a lot of rose. I had to order myself another big bottle.
That's all I wear these days is rose and jasmine. And maybe that's why so you said acceptance. Okay, I will look that up too. And also what you said about grounded, I realized that when we're, I'm a spiritual person. And so that's in the clouds and everything. And that is like the purview of God, I guess, but then there's Mother Earth, right? That we have to stay connected that way. And I've never really worked hard on, I just want to stay up in the high places, but we need both of them. And so I have been touching honey mesquite plant trees lately, which is really funny how you said that. So I have been going on walks every single day on my trail, and like I crave being out with Mother Earth every day now. So maybe that will help me too. So.
Can you look up hi, it's Caroline.
Hi.
So anyway, can you look up cedarwood, because that one is it's nagging at me right now. And that one, Jeannie, and because I'm going through the same thing you are, we talked on my walk and stuff, cedarwood and Terra Shield, because those to me are very grounding. And so you're using rose, which is a high vibrating. This is just, I don't know, a thought.
Yes,
they're flowers, right. So they're very high vibrating. So you need to ground yourself as well. And Terra Shield is a great one. that I'm feeling, because to me it smells like chocolate. It's right now. I didn't used to like it, but yeah, if you could look up cedarwood, that would make
Sure.
clearance shield. Yeah.
I know
Okay.
cedarwood's the oil of community.
Mm-hmm. Which one is?
Cedarwood, it's the oil of
Yeah.
community. Cedarwood brings people together to experience the strength and value of community. Those in need of cedarwood struggle to form bonds within social groups. This can often be due to an overdeveloped sense of individuality. Rather than allowing themselves to be supported by family, friends, or a community, they live by excessive self-reliance. On the other hand, the individual's difficulty forming social roots may also stem from feeling disconnected and separate from the human family. Cedarwood inspires the feeling of belonging and assists the heart in opening to receive the love and support of other people. It invites the strong-willed individual to couple the strength of individuality with the supportive power of community. Yeah, I mean, that's like, especially in
Wow.
with what I've been through with feeling very isolated because I don't want to share with addiction and but yeah, all the addiction stuff. I didn't want to share any of it because I don't want people to think poorly of me.
Yeah.
So making sure that we surrender and that we connect, because when we connect, we feel understood.
Oh,
So we
okay.
have to, obviously in a safe space, if we're going somewhere where there people are not, they haven't grown in that way, then you're not going to feel safe and you can't be understood.
Mm,
That's why being in a safe space like this, it's how important that is for us to feel like somebody gets me and I'm not crazy and I'm not weird and I'm not, some separate person that I'm not like anyone else. Like the feelings we have are textbook. And I find comfort in being a textbook
mm,
because I don't want to be alien and nothing, and there's nothing like that what's ever happened to me. I like that it's been studied and I like
yeah.
that people have written stuff, like anything by what's her name? The lady who wrote Codependency No More, Melanie Beattie. Anything by Melanie Beattie, Jeannie.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
She speaks to my
Okay. Codependency no more. Okay. And you said surrender, and that made me think of, that's one of the 12 steps, right? Surrender to God.
Yeah. So I use the surrender prayer constantly. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The things that I can change are the things about me. The things I cannot change is everybody else.
Yeah.
So if I catch myself wanting somebody to change their mind, then I've gone rogue.
Mm. Wow. That was really helpful. All of that.
I got cedarwood
Thank
right
you.
here.
I just put cedarwood and arborvitae on because I love those and their trees. Was somebody gonna say something else?
Yeah, I've been drawn to rose and geranium together lately. I use the rose lotion with a drop of geranium. And I'm looking at geranium, and it starts off with, it restores confidence in the innate goodness of others and in the world. And then down under positive emotions, it's emotional healing, empathy, trusting, forgiving, gentle, loving, tolerant, and open. So it's just, for some reason, I've just been drawn to those too. And
Good idea.
anyway, I wanted to share.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
I like a long time ago, a friend told me she had been using geranium to release the trauma from her chest. And I do believe we have to soften our heart, not necessarily soften our heart to other people, but soften our heart to ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves, of all, like, well, I should have done it this way. I should have done it this way. Why didn't I do it that way? And I believe it hardens our heart against ourselves. So I think that's a really great choice, Deirdre. Thank you for sharing that for us.
Yeah, thanks. I wrote it all down.
Do you guys want to do Wim Hof real fast? I'm going to do cedarwood. So I like to pick an oil, one that's like, you could just be the one that's closest to you. And then you breathe it in. Make sure you do long exhales to stimulate that vagus nerve. And I'll start our video for us real quick. Let me share my screen. And okay, here we go. So I'll turn my, or I guess I have to leave my video on so you guys can see. Okay.
Guys, welcome. This is a guided breathing session. Relax to the deepest. Lie down, sit down, whatever it takes, relax. Are you ready? Here we go. Round number 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just go with the flow of the breath. In, out. In, out. In, in, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circular. Fully in and letting go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. And more. Fully in, let it go. Five more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. Fully in and let go. All right. 30 seconds breath hold from now on. Be in this moment. Let the body do what the body is capable of doing. Be aware of your heartbeat. Slow it down and just be in this moment. Okay, recovery breath in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in and hold for 15 seconds. Exhale in 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Round number 2. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. In, out. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Like a wave. Make it circular. Fully in and letting go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. 10 more. Fully in, let it go. Nice, deep, circular breaths. Five more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. Fully in. And on the exhale, stop. 1 minute, breath hold from now on. Feel, become aware of your body. If your hands and feet are tingling, or you feel your body temperature is changing, that's okay. You're doing fantastic. If you need to breathe before I give the cue, that's okay. You are almost there. Do you want?
Okay, let me stop share. Well, we did great, guys. Let's see. Thanks everybody for joining and coming and being vulnerable and sharing and being safe. Thank you for doing this for yourself.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you, Kim,
meeting. Thank you.
everybody, for all your feedback. That was great. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Gotta go.
Bye. We'll see you next Monday.
I
Bye.
hope
Bye.
so. Okay. Have a good one. Bye.